Coming up next.
As with many prestigious sports championships around Pennsylvania, there is nothing more important than a WPIAL championship. But you have to be in it to win it. And that is exactly what Penn Trafford is trying to do tonight.
The Warriors are set to face Franklin Regional tonight at 7:30 p.m. This is a do or die for the Warriors, and it happens all here at Warrior Stadium.
Joining you from Penn Trafford High School, I'm Paul Mills alongside Connor Alexander for the first edition of High School Game Day presented by Primetime Sports.
We can really feel the buzz around the school this week. It's an important game, a must-win for the Warriors. What are your thoughts going into the game?
Yeah, there was a clear feeling of confidence from the players this week. I actually got to speak to the quarterback, Conlon Green. He told me that winning that last game would set the tone for the playoffs. If we stay healthy and play our game, I have no doubt about making another run.
I also got a major feeling of confidence this week, too. We are actually going to speak with Conlon later in the program and get his thoughts leading up to kickoff.
Coming into this season, the Warriors were the defending 5A WPIAL and state champions. This year, they're trying to repeat that success, but hitting some roadblocks along the way.
Injuries were running through the Warrior lineup and pulling all those key players out and onto the sideline. Even from the start of the season, we didn't see the full-powered Warrior team.
On opening day, the Warriors pulled out a win against Cannon Mac 35-28, and then followed by a loss to the 4A powerhouse McKeesport 19-7.
The Warriors did get some major wins against Woodland Hills and Bell Vernon, who yield some huge D1 talent.
The mix-up in the standings really came down to the loss against Hempfield.
Hempfield would prove a major breakdown for the Warriors and truly looked like a disconnected Warrior team.
In the last push of the season, the Warriors racked up big wins against Norwin and Plum, however, taking a section loss to rival Gateway and an out-of-class matchup with North Allegheny.
And that brings us to the last game of the regular season, a 7:30 kickoff against Franklin Regional, and the weight of the season can be felt with this matchup.
As we said earlier, this is a win-or-go-home game for the Warriors.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. We have head coach John Ruane on the program and more on this episode of High School Game Day presented by Primetime Sports.
Every morning brings a new opportunity, a new chance to be great. But it's up to you to decide who you want to be. You can wake up and chase your dreams, or stay where you are and remain the same. Choosing the road less traveled is going to be difficult. You may fail over and over again, but the great ones keep pushing. The great ones do more. So, are you going to be great?
Perhaps the most important part of any team is the chemistry that makes up the group itself. The lean, mean Conlon Green has been the Warriors' Josh Allen-type quarterback with a total of 671 rushing yards on the season. On the throwing side, he has 95 completions for 1,223 yards and 8 touchdowns. Though your typical quarterback doesn't play defense, Conlon is quite the contrary. With 34 tackles and 1 sack this year, Conlon won the state championship with the final sack of the game in overtime.
Powerhouse Daniel Tarabella plays both sides of the ball for the Warriors. On the defensive side, he leads the team in tackles with 54, 35 of which being solo, along with 1 sack and 1 forced fumble on the offensive side of the ball. He leads the team in receptions with 36 total, averaging 15.4 yards per catch for a total of 555 on the season.
Giant lineman Joe Enoch committed to Central Michigan University. Joe plays nose guard for the Warrior defense and center for the Warrior offense. Joe has 27 tackles on the season, with 20 being all his. Joe leads the team in sacks with 6 and 2 forced fumbles.
After returning from a knee injury early in the season, Owen Demiri has made a noticeable difference since his return. Although he was back for the Gateway game, his breakout game was the Warrior game against Plum, where he ran 190 yards on 26 carries. Owen has 1 reception and 54 carries this season since his Week 7 return. He has brought in 3 touchdowns for the Warriors. Our school has watched head coach John Ruane lead his team to the first Whitfield and state championships in school history after years of heartbreak losses at the Whitfield Championship. Coach Ruane reached a lot of milestones last year, reaching 100 career wins and more.
We got an exclusive interview with head coach John Ruane to tell us more about the graduating class, the next man up mentality, and taking it one game at a time.
You know, we go through that every year. We always lose great kids, and we expect the next batch of kids to step their game up. And I think we have that this year. I think we had really good juniors that played on our team last year, and even a handful of sophomores that have really contributed to any kind of success we've had this year. The difference is we were very, very fortunate with injuries last year. Didn't have many at all, if any. And this year we kind of had the opposite effect. So we've had a lot of adversity, but our guys, our leaders have really stepped up, and they put us in position where we control our destiny. Yeah, it is definitely the next man up. That's why you have 70 kids on a football team. It's not, we're not limited with 20-some kids. We have 70 because you need everybody on the team to perform. We've had a couple. Josh Hoffman in the offseason was the catastrophic one. He was a two-way starter for us, a punter for us, and just a really important player. So we had to adapt early with that. And then Jake Otto, in season got hurt, and we've had some young guys step up in his absence. Those are two guys that started in the state championship game. They're very difficult guys to replace, but nonetheless, we have, and that's life. No one's going to feel sorry for us, and we don't feel sorry for ourselves. We've had some guys go down at points in the season. We've had different youngsters step up and take key roles. So, hopefully we're getting our best effort at the right time from all these guys, and we're as healthy as we can be at this point. I don't think there's any challenges being motivated. I mean, we know if we lose, we're done. So, that's the ultimate motivator there. It's just a matter of, performing it the way we should and can. Making sure we do our things right, making sure we don't give them the football, making sure we don't make stupid mistakes. And other than that, the ultimate motivator is lasting another week at this point. So you got to win to last another week, and then we say the exact same thing next week. So, hopefully we have our A game against Franklin Regional, and we can turn it into a playoff run. It's just different, but nonetheless, like I said, it's the same scenario. Last year, once you're in, it doesn't really matter. Everybody's 0-0. You just got to get in. So it doesn't really matter if you play at home, on the road, at a neutral site. If you don't perform at the highest level, there's going to be a team that does and knocks you off. And we had the same predicament last year. We have the same predicament every year. Every time you're in the playoffs, everybody starts with a 0-0 record. So it doesn't really matter what happened in the regular season as long as you're in. So we just have to have that mentality to get in, and then anything can happen from there. Our school support has been tremendous again, and we hope that, regardless of where we play, if we get in the playoffs, that we have that same support like we do every single year. That's what makes it special, coaching here and playing here, and these guys love it. And hopefully we get in, and everyone travels with us, and wherever we go, we have that Warrior crowd.
For those of you who are just tuning in, that was John Ruane, head coach of the Penn Trafford Warriors. We want to thank Coach Ruane for giving us an interview during his busy schedule and always being a great supporter of the program.
Next on the show, we have quarterback and Temple commit Conlon Green right here on High School Game Day, presented by Primetime Sports.
Welcome back to High School Game Day. I'm Aiden Pula. Today we have football captain and key player of the starting lineup, Conlon Green. Conlon, how does it feel to be entering a must-win game at the end of the season?
It's exciting. It's definitely do or die, so I think we're going to come in this game with a little bit more of a sense of urgency. It's a big one, so we got to play our football.
The Warriors are known for winning at home and almost feed off of their crowd. Do you think this will play into your emotions as your last home game as a Warrior?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like we definitely play better whenever we have the hometown crowd at our backs, and I know it gives some of the guys on the team a little bit more energy, and I think that's going to be a big part of this week.
We want to thank Conlon Green for joining us on this program. Good luck today. The Warriors' last home game was against the Plum Mustangs and got a huge section win. We had reporter Zach Grabowski put together a highlight reel from that game.
For their homecoming game last Friday, PT faced off against the Plum Mustangs. After an early pick six by Plum, the Warriors were anxious to get on the board. Fortunately, Owen Demire would provide them with a 15-yard touchdown. tying the game. Later, Conlon Green would put the Warriors in the lead with a 20-yard touchdown, making it 14-7 Warriors. After Plum scored another touchdown, the defense looked to bounce back and made some key tackles. Conlon ran in for a second touchdown right before halftime, putting the Warriors in the lead 21-14. Mustangs failed to stop the Warriors driving down the field, ultimately ending with Demiri sliding in for his second touchdown of the night. In the middle of the fourth, Green snuck in for a third touchdown, widening the Warriors' lead to 35-14. Even with a late Plum score, the Warriors locked in the win when Nolan Morasti intercepted a long pass from Plum. The final score was 35-21. PT hosts the Franklin Regional Panthers this Friday for the last game of the season. The outcome of this game will determine if the Warriors make it to the playoffs this year. Make sure you're there this Friday night to watch the Warriors take care of business.
As the autumn leaves start to change and fall, the fall sports schedules are wrapping up and winter sports are getting ready to get started. Let's recap what our Warriors did this fall. As their season comes to a close, the girls' varsity volleyball team won the section matchup against Norwin, giving them the sole win of the title. On Tuesday, they played in their first Whitfield playoff game against Butler, winning 3-0, moving them on to the semifinals last night. The Warriors won 3-2 against Cannon Mac, which pushes them into the semifinals.
The boys soccer team finished off their season by placing 14th in the championship tournament this past weekend. The girls soccer fought till the end, coming up just short in overtime, losing 0-1 in their Whitfield playoff game on Tuesday against Mars.
Last night, the field hockey team played in the semifinals against Oakland Catholic, winning. This moved them on to the finals, which they will play this Saturday.
The boys hockey team is starting off their season strong in the preseason tournament, taking home the victory over Greensburg-Salem. In the regular season, they have a 1-1 record and hope to continue and play strong throughout the rest of the season.
The girls tennis team had a winning season all around, but one player took it a step further. Freshman Mia Williams went all the way playing in the Whitfield girls singles. Mia took home the win in an outstanding match. This qualified her to play in the PIAA.
The girls' golf team came in second for the section title, losing to Franklin Regional, but continued to play on the Whitfield Team Championship, placing 6th. Angelina D'Amico shot an 86 in the Whitfield Individual Qualifiers at Greensburg Country Club, which qualified her to play in the Whitfield Individuals at Valley Brooks Country Club, where she placed 13th overall.
The boys' golf team was 3A section champions this year. Junior Nick Tarowski qualified to compete in the Whitfield Boys Golf Championships, where he took home a silver medal. He now moves on to play in the PIAA State Championship.
The cross-country boys moved on and competed in the Whitfield Championships yesterday at California University of PA. Amelia Barilla from the girls' cross-country team came in 11th overall in the Tri-State Championships. She also broke the course record at Latrobe with a time of 19:41.
We want to congratulate all of our Warriors on their fantastic seasons.
We would also like to give a special shout out to all the Warrior Athletic seniors as we conclude our senior night celebrations tonight during pregame.
All right, Connor, before we leave tonight, what are your predictions for the game?
You know, I think Franklin Regional has a really good defense, but I also think that our offense has been working really hard at the practices. I think Coach Ruane has really good game plans and stuff up his sleeve that he hasn't pulled out yet, so I'm excited to see what he pulls off tonight. I think there's a good chance of a Warrior win.
Yeah, I agree with that. I know this Franklin defense is really strong, but I think Ruane really has what it takes to really push these guys to get the win. I'm going with the score of 28-20 for the final score. What about you?
I think it's going to be a close one, 35-28, but I think the Warriors are going to be able to pull through tonight.
Good luck to our Warriors as they get ready for kickoff at 7:30, and for all of our other sports as they move into Whitfield and state playoff season. For High School Game Day, I'm Paul Mills, and for Connor Alexander, have a great Game Day Friday, and let's go Warriors!